So,
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, your wisdom, and your support in this meeting. We hope that you will help us have meaningful discussion and join together as a group and as a community. In your son's name.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under the Texas flag,
I
I pledge allegiance to the Texas,
one state, under God, one indivisible. Everybody got their microphones on or off in the position they want them to be? Evening. Public forum. Each individual will be allowed 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to speak on a posted agenda item must complete a speaker card with his or her name and address and must identify the agenda item number for which he or she would like to speak. A speaker card must be presented to Lisa Hemis.
That's okay.
Interim city secretary prior to the meeting so that the speaker may be recognized by the chair at the appropriate time. Speakers will each be allowed a 3-minute time period to provide comment regarding the posted agenda items for which the request to speak was submitted and may speak before or during the board's consideration of the agenda item. Please be advised by law, the board may not respond to any comment or question asked of them by a speaker or for items not listed on the agenda. Any response by a member of the board or staff is limited by Texas law to a statement of specific factual information, a recitation of existing policy, or a proposal to place the subject on the agenda for a future Omdd board meeting. Since we have no cards, we will move on to the consent agenda. Need a motion to move on to the consent agenda, please.
I make a motion to move on to consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any or all items under consent agenda may be removed by the president or any board member for discussion. Board to approve the minutes of the regular called meeting of the board held on March 8th, 2023. Ms. Sylvie, since you made the motion, do you have your first comment? Or question, sorry.
I read over them, and as my memory goes, it looked fine to me.
I am with you on the March 8th one, yes. Any comment or any other comment or question?
No.
Mr. Stone, anything from you?
No.
I would like to take a minute to point out that these are from the March 8th meeting, not our actual last get-together. In that the last one was not considered a meeting due to the way it ended and things were not finished properly. So these are from March the 8th, not from the meeting in April. So past that, I just wanted to make sure that was stated and everybody understood it. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes as written? All those in favor, raise your right hand.
We didn't get a second. Second.
He did it. Mr. Stone's motion,
Okay.
she made the second. I'll get there. I'm slow. Presentation of the financial reports. Don't need a motion for this one.
There wasn't just a whole lot to report this month because there was not a lot of activity.
on your spreadsheet that I give you, projects and what money is left in the funds for the projects. So you still have openings, you still have open, the work can pass it over tonight. You still have some fire hydrants that could be replaced in tune of $12,500 that has not been spent yet on that project. The painting City Hall, supplies to paint the Ocean Fire Department, I believe those were put on hold until whatever time we do to do it. The two 10-inch valves to isolate well 5, we have $14,062 balance on that can be spent. Baseball field upgrades were completed, and they spent the amount of money that you offered them.
Good.
And there's the details of the fire hydrant, the reimbursement from OEDC that left you with $12,500 to spend on fire hydrants.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if we replaced the one at JW Greenville Hospital in Pine Street.
Wait,
So,
no, we have not.
okay. I show the amount that's spent so far for the 10-inch valve isolation project is $25,937 in a check that is through the bank. The reimbursement for the baseball fields, those checks are through the bank.
Mm-hmm.
April's bank balance was at $419.05 with unexpended totals of $63,060.33 from the projects that you had open, which left you a total available funds of $356,445.67. I do not have the bank statement for May, but I don't believe there was any activity in May, except that you will have received the sales tax deposit, which was $13,172.76.
What does that bring the total to, as far as the balance?
Without the May statement, I do not know.
In
Not
theory,
there
it would be the
for-
356, 445, 67 plus the 13,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
So somewhere right around 4-ish.
Because there hadn't been very much activity, so.
No.
I know I haven't signed a check in
We
May,
haven't written a check in May, so.
so outside of the check, Mr. Stone, we're gonna need you to sign before we leave for the for $12,000 for the administrative costs. So past that, there's been no checks written in the month of May, or really in the month of April, towards the end, since March, I guess, really.
March was your active month.
Yeah.
Yes. In May, there wasn't just a whole lot of anything going on. May, I needed a bank statement for,
I will
discovered
go by
that I
and
can't call the bank and get a bank statement from them, so it's up to Nathan or Mr. David. to go
I
by
attempted to
and
go
see
by
if
there
we can-
today, I just didn't get there in time. I will go by there tomorrow during normal banking hours and grab one so that we can
I
put
just
it on
wanted
the
to point
record.
out there's only 2 people that have access to the bank account.
Yes, that's me and you.
And that finalizes my financials.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for Connie? I did. And I guess it's kind of a combination between Mr. West and Connie. So we approved 20,000 for the isolation, right? The 2 isolation valves, 2 10-inch,
Right.
and we spent 59.
5,009.
Yeah, 50, yeah. So are we still needing to hold on to that and kind of keep that to the side in the ledger for more work in this, or is this completed?
No, it's not completed.
Okay,
We've got the valves purchased. We're waiting for the, tank cleaning process to start,
okay,
and then we're gonna jump in and put those valves in then.
yeah,
And, so we may incur more costs, I don't know yet. Just depends on what we find.
well, yeah, absolutely. So the 593710 was the parts
That's
that
just
were
the
ordered,
parts.
right? We've got those physically in our possession. Okay, that was the only real question that I had, was kind of where that was at, and I assumed it was something along those lines, but I wanted to state it. So, any other questions? Business consider and/or action. Can I get a motion for item 7, please?
Can we do a motion discuss all of them?
Yes. That's why I said item 7, not item 7, 8, 8.
Can I make a motion, we discuss all of item 7?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that. Can I get a second? Mr. Stone, you second? I almost said number A. That's where my brain's at. Discuss and take action on trash compactor on Billy Moore Sewer Lift Station in the amount of $16,363. Mr. West, I'm assuming this is something for you to bring up, right?
Yeah, and we're hoping it can be done for this, that's what they told us, but what this does, it keeps the, I've learned this as I've been here, but it keeps the trash out of the system, out of our infrastructure. A lot of trash. This compactor, it's broke right now, it's supposed to be fixed this month, or no, in July. But, so what you get, it's just a matter of time before one of them flushes I don't know how you flush a blanket down a toilet, but they do it. And it gets in there and that trash gets in that motor and it carries it up. So then our whole system goes down. And, this auger system would keep all that stuff. It worked, they put it in 2003, the prison did. I don't agree with the city having to pay for it, but we're either gonna pay for it or keep, well, we've had when I first come on, there was a, temporary lift station, pump on there. And that thing was costing us over $6,000 a month. And it had been on there for, roughly 10 months, I believe. And so I found out what was the reason for this being on there. And it was because our pump was down, it was in the shop. So I called the shop and asked, what do we need to do to get this pump fixed? They said, pay us. And I said, well, that'd be fine, we'll pay you and let's get the pump, get it back. So what it was, they just hadn't been paying their bills. And I don't blame them, I wouldn't fix it either. You know, so they wasn't gonna repair it until they got paid. So we got that fixed, 7 months later, it goes down again. And so we had to get another transfer pump on there. It didn't take 10 months that time, it took roughly a month to get that one repaired and get it back on. But if we don't get this auger system fixed, we're gonna continue to have that problem. We don't know if it's gonna be 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, but it's an unbelievable amount of trash at that place.
And so this system will prevent how much of the trash?
Supposedly to prevent all of it. It's gonna go through that auger system before it can go into our infrastructure. It has to go through that auger system. They have what they call a bar screen on their side to catch trash, but for some reason they don't do it. And then we have a bar screen on our side to catch trash, but it only catches so much and a lot of it goes through. I think there's like 500 inmates out there. And in my opinion, that's the worst thing that ever happened to Overton was prison. Just because of the infrastructure, problems it creates.
And is the city responsible for all of that?
They shouldn't be. I don't think, and Sheriff Smith in Smith County is helping me with that. We've sent the prison a bill. We're gonna send them another bill explaining what all it's for. They're not gonna pay it, but then we're gonna go to Travis Florida and see if he can help us with some assistance there on getting it paid. And, because other than that, it just keeps going, it's an ongoing problem. And, we charge them the same amount as far as water and sewer as we do any other citizen in Overton unless the mayor knows something different than I know. And since I've been here, so going on 2 years, I guess in August, we've been out over $100,000 on repairs out there at the prison that we don't have any other problems with in any other lift stations, and on just the prison. And so we're charging in the same amount as we're charging everybody else. And we're, yeah, taxpayers are paying for it. And then if we don't, another thing you get into there, you get so if that trash comes down the system, okay, the state owns that prison. They have, MTC operating it. I guess that's who got their bid. And so they operate it, and, their trash gets in their system, in our system, and say it plugs up a lift station and causes a big old leak. And then the state comes in here and fines us because of the leak, and we get to incur all the cost of cleaning it up. And it's like, this has got to stop. It doesn't make sense. So this is the next step of hopefully making it stop, but I'm still gonna bill, Billy Max more or for this, you know. Not say that we'll get it, but there's, like I said, there's over $100,000 worth of costs that we're gonna bill them for, but not to say we're gonna get it.
And when we got the prisons, there wasn't an agreement, a contract or anything made with them on who's responsible for what?
I don't know that. There was they told me that there was they spent $103,000 installing this trash compactor, is what they told me in 2003. And they made a deal with the city that they would buy the trash compactor, trash auger, whichever it is, and they would give it to the city to maintain, to keep their trash out of the system. And supposedly the city went for it, but they cannot provide me a contract. They haven't provided a contract to me to prove that.
And we haven't been able to find, so going back even far along the same lines, they call it a compactor, but think about it like a big garbage disposal really, is what it is. It really just chews up everything they throw in the trash so that the lift stations can pick it up, because it's the sewage.
No, this here is actually an auger, and it picks all the trash up and brings it out. And
It spits it out the back.
in the trash
Okay.
can, yeah.
Okay, so the one I guess they had was.
They never had one. Now, Henderson's got the one you're
okay.
talking about.
It's supposed to essentially grind it up and be able to make it small enough for
Right.
to go through the pumps. And this has been at least a decade, because that's how long I've lived here, that they've been dealing with that. And I'm assuming it's been longer than that, and tearing those pumps up. And the prison just kind of ignoring it. At one time, there was a conversation in city council, to turn the water off, because supposedly in the contract that the city has with the prison, and again, nothing been on paper seen, we have the right to turn the water off to the prison.
You do have the right to turn the water off if they don't pay their bill.
Yes.
Their particular water bill. Now, if it's any kind of bill occurred to the infrastructure or anything,
There's nothing that can be done.
No, it's
Okay, so like I said, that was one of those, it was a conversation that was had, but there was nothing ever put down on paper.
It's gotta be us sending them a bill for their water and sewer, and them not pay that, then yes, we can go cut it off, but other than that, we cannot.
Do we have any recourse to increase their price per gallon in their water and sewer? Do we have anything on the city side to help incur some of these costs? Because they're not gonna go away.
No, they're not.
You know, I mean, they're not. We can put the digester in or the compactor or whatever. It's gonna break at some point, and we're gonna have to put another one in. Do we have any recourse there?
I believe there's Mayor, there's 5% or something.
We
can't-
raised everyone else's rate last year, then they were supposed to put 5% also.
But we can't raise it over 5% at one
Yeah,
time.
I think in the contract it says something, you're limited to 5%.
5%
We'll
per-
read that contract again, because we may write it again.
Like 5% per year, or 5% per increase, or
It's been a while since I've looked at
Okay.
this contract, I can't remember.
if it's 5% a year, I say we go up 5% a year.
Oh, yeah.
Till we start making.
That you can
Stop
raise
it.
theirs and not raise the rest of
And
ours.
actually, Actually, it was somebody else reading that contract that pointed that out, then I went back and read the contract closer.
Copy that. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Is it only if the entire city's water is raised, or can you do them as an individual? That'd be a,
Yeah.
can essentially without,
Sure.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because sometimes they do, well, yeah, you can do an increase as long as you're increasing everybody else, and then you're gonna tax your citizens out of water affordability. So, any questions past the conversation?
Just one quick question so that I understand that this is for the auger portion of the compact.
Yes,
This
it
what
is for the-
separates
It is,
stuff.
it's auger slash compactor. I don't know why they got it's all the same.
Okay, so,
One unit and
that's what I was asking.
yeah, that's supposed to.
And this is brand new.
Now, the one we have is used, but this is to repair it to make it
This
work.
is for to repair.
This is not a new one. Okay, I was thinking it was a new one. This is repairing the one.
No,
we
a
have.
new one's over 100,000.
That's why I was like, well, that seems really cheap to buy. What it is you're discussing?
But you gotta look at the whole system is stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go in there and take parts loose and replace the parts.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I wouldn't see any reason to replace the whole thing, because there's a lot of it still good.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
What type of warranty is there once this is
It's a wear product. I mean, it's got nylon, it's made to wear out. Of course, it's got the stainless steel, and then it's got, inside there, it's got nylon shims on that auger part with brushes on it to help pick that trash up, and all that's gonna wear out. There's no way to.
right? But how long do they guarantee it? Surely it comes with some kind of guarantee.
Well, no, I don't know about that, but it's,
Because that's going to depend on what they flush down. If they flush down the stuff they're supposed to flush down, maybe 10 years. If they're flushing down entire bed sheets and everything else, there's no way to guarantee that.
I think that system went down one time, sometime between now and 2003, because a blanket got in there, and it just got in there, I guess got so bound up that it just couldn't
Mm-hmm.
move, and I think it messed up the electric motor, so.
So do we feel the 16,000? Do we feel that's going to get us operational on that? Like that's what they say it's going to cost, or is this a
No,
portion? Is this a portion of what's going to get us operational?
That's what they told us that would cost, I guess,
Okay.
unless we get into some wiring issues or
Yeah.
something.
I'm just trying to make sure that we're going to cover enough that you guys aren't going to wait on us for
Right.
another month, or we have to call a special call meeting.
Well,
And that was kind of where I was at.
thankfully, the city's in good enough shape now to where we could go ahead and pay,
Mhm.
and then come back at you with, hey, could you pay the remaining balance here?
Come back and get it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not out of the woods, but we're not.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Can I get a motion on approving $16,363 for the trash compactor and auger on the Billy Moore Screw lift station?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please raise their right hand. Discuss and take action to replace 2-inch water line and repair road on Mercer Street. Local Government Code, Title 12, Section 505.154. Projects related to water supply facility and water conservation programs. I'm assuming that is what that's listed there to fit into our ability to pay for
To
it,
be able
correct?
to, yeah, both,
Okay.
actually, the other one was also in that,
Mm.
it's in that scope there.
I
That's
don't
just-
see a price on that. Did we have some idea what that was gonna look like?
He turned me in a bid. I've only had one bid on it for the labor, and it was 24,000 and some change.
Mm-hmm.
The pipe is roughly, it goes up and down,
Mhm.
but it's roughly $1.25 a foot, and we're gonna have 4 or 7 taps. I don't know, I don't remember that part. So you'll you'll be looking at somewhere between 25 and probably 35, somewhere in that range.
And now, is that for material on top of the
That'd be material
24
and everything.
plus
Just-
24 on labor?
Yeah, because there's 600 and something feet. I think 670 feet, so 670. If the pipe's still the same price, 670. So you're looking at less than 1,000 on the pipe, and you'll have roughly probably $1,000 a tap. Time you run your tail, I think it'll be less than that. I think there's
So we're 7,000 in taps, and
there's 8,
so there's around 8,000. right
25,
there.
20, roughly 25 and 8,000. So 33,000 roughly.
Total
Yeah, and I
with
don't,
with labor, you think?
the labor was 24 and some change.
Okay.
And that's boring the driveways, that's getting the water line on the side of the road, for it to be away from the gas and the sewer.
Yeah.
So we'll be,
Come back into code on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We
So
won't be tearing a road up every time we shoouldn't have a water leak, 'cause that's gonna be poly pipe, and all be welded, there won't be no,
all well and seen.
Yeah.
Look at us getting high class. So you're looking rough math 33
33 rough.
for the total project. Okay.
Marshall Street, remind me where that's located.
Okay, if you go out, if you go 3053, and you go past, where Eddie Riddle's yard was, my yard, just right past it on the left. Yeah, it's a dead end street, Mr. Travis, right up there on the dead end. And, but it's right there. There's not a whole lot of houses on it, but it's just, the lines is right. I mean, every time you have a leak, you dig it up, you just, patch it, you're not fixing it, it's just a matter of time.
So is this method kind of the way that we're thinking we're going to try and repair housing lines going forward as we can?
That's what, yeah. That's what we've done through the park. That was all 2-inch and 4-inch poly. And it's, as of today, that job's completed, everybody's on water. Y'all may not be,
No, we aren't.
y'all are the last ones, I think. But everybody else, the golf course, RV park,
Mm-hmm.
all that's online. We've just got to tie their meter in and then do all the dressing up.
Yeah, clean up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're just trying to attack one of these one at a time, just till we can get all these.
Instead of crash maintenance, doing actual maintenance, right?
That's looking to me at being a little bit proactive,
Mm-hmm.
which I have not seen our city do in a long time. And
It's nice to
I'd
see
like
for
more
sure.
people to realize that that's what's happening, is that it's not because there's a break there that we're running out and plugging another break.
Mhm.
Yes, we're doing those, but we're also starting to replace things before they break,
Mhm.
as we can afford to do it, and I think that's fantastic.
The city, as far as the city, let's see, Motley Street, we had a real expensive water leak there. It was repaired, it wasn't replaced, it was repaired, but it was $32,000 to repair that leak, due to what's the state requirements. But, we had some pretty expensive leaks on the state right of ways
Mhm.
here the last couple of months. And it's probably the city's probably been out probably roughly around 150,000. So, not only are we maintaining the balance in our general funds, we're also.
Able to pay for stuff and not coming to us every other looking to do the same thing.
The
Yeah.
way I look at it, OEDC and OMDD and the city is making a team to get their city back together.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
we've got a, sewer line collapse in front of Brookshire's right now
Okay.
that we're gonna have to replace. We've got that scheduled, we're kind of waiting on the state and, all of one calls to come
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
We'll actually do that job ourselves.
Well, that's nice.
Hopefully
Be able,
everything go right.
be able to do one ourselves, that's a pretty
Yeah.
big deal too, truly, it really is, cause it's been contract labor
Yes.
for everybody, for everything, for a long time. That's nice to be able to do it on our own.
Yeah. And we won't be able to do all of it.
Well,
that's-
but hey.
We can.
Hey. Make a motion, I'm gonna call it 33,000.
That's fine.
Can I get a motion to approve $33,000 for replacing 2-inch water line and repair road on Mercer Street?
I move that we approve $33,000 to remove and repair water lines on Mercer Street.
Thank you very much for the motion. Can I get a second? Ms. Sylvia with a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Passes 4-0. Discuss and set up time for a workshop to discuss bylaws, do's and don'ts. Miss Sylvia sent me an email a couple weeks ago now, and I think it's a great idea. And a lot of that came from, and I'll let Miss Sylvia do most of the talking here, is there's a lot of new people in and out. We've been turning people over in multiple places. Let's be honest. It's not just us. And so there's a lot of conversations. One of the very first things you said to me is, "What is it we do?" Right?
Yeah.
And not making fun, not making a joke, being truthful. What is it we do? What does this board do? What are we capable of? Miss Sylvia sent me the email. I think it's a great idea.
And I did it for that reason, because I'm new enough, and I don't even know how, probably a year. But when I came on, I was lost, and different people would sit up here and they go, "Oh, in the bylaws it says," and I had the bylaws, and I still was lost. Now that I've looked at them, there are only actually 9 parts to the bylaws. And the first one and the last 3 are almost sentences. They don't, you've got 3 board of directors, our officers, our general provisions, and our finance. And there's still, I mean, it's only a 4-page document, so,
Mhm.
and it's not written in a lot of legalese. But I think it would be good, it always comes up, well,
Can
how long
we do
did you
this?
serve?
Yep.
You know, when do we elect officers? I didn't know until this week when I was reading everything, we have to do a budget. We have a budget presented by the 1st of August. And, you know, I just think we need to have something before.
For sure. Well, obviously before the 1st of August then would be how I understand that for the,
If the next meeting in July, I think we could do this in about 30 minutes. If the next meeting in July, instead of meeting at 6:30, we meet at 6, we could go over this, look at it, everybody go through and highlight, because everybody does a copy.
Do you have a copy of the bylaws?
Highlight,
Okay.
and we take it as an article
Mm-hmm.
at a time, and we ought to be able to go through it, and at least so that we're all on the same page, and we know where it is, and we can find
Mhm.
it.
Or you could have you could actually just have an update on the projects that's going on and then have this on the actual agenda for the meeting, I would think, and then you could, just kind of, because we wouldn't need to start another project, I wouldn't think, unless there's an emergency,
Yeah.
until we get these others done, so we can give an update on those projects, and then we can do the bylaws.
Bring this in as part of the meeting as a whole. I think that's a great. I was down for either one, but I like that idea. That
Yeah.
works.
I think that's great. So, any motions?
Yeah.
And David?
I'm trying to think.
No, we could just add this to, I believe, the top of the state.
Just make it a business item on
Yeah,
the
just like the
agenda.
business items. I don't
Yeah.
don't know that you take any action.
I think no, to add it as a agenda item or a business item. I don't think there needs to be. It just needs to be stated that we're going to add this in the minutes and move forward.
You can actually do that either way. You either have it as a business item in your agenda,
Mm-hmm.
or you can go through your meeting, closed up the meeting and just go into a workshop. Which is
I say we add it as an
a little
agenda
less-
item and
It's
just,
a little less informal that way.
I think we just make it as an agenda item. But I will let y'all decide. Do you have an opinion on this?
No. I'm fine either way.
Okay. Miss Sylvia, what do you think? Oh, boy. The desk that launched 1,000 indecisions.
It's, I kinda like that, just put it at the end
Okay.
and like the little form. After that, then we don't get out.
I'm good with it. Okay. Will you please add that in? Discuss updates on golf course. Tiger Woods will be here next week, right?
We were trying to keep that on, low on the radar.
Dang it, sorry. I got all excited.
Miss Sylvia gave over, she had the sheets, her and Sharon got all that together, so it kinda just shows you what it's done year to date. October.
I got October of 22 to May 32nd.
Yes.
Whoops.
We're gonna call that not May 32nd, but I think we ought to leave it. So 63,600 in green fees, cart fees, and dues.
That's what actually goes into our golf course, puts into the city's budget. In that part.
The expenses for 2023 on the golf course,
That was going to be my next question. So we've got 63 coming in. What was our expenses?
and it's actually, the revenue is actually $66,244.98.
Mm-hmm.
The expenses are $58,276.39. So that's,
About 5,000. 58 to 63.
66.
66. Okay.
But you're looking at, sales tax there and all that. This
Yeah.
other's breaking some of that out.
Yeah.
Now that's with, 12 carts, which that's with 10 carts. And OEDC's paying for another 12 carts if we'll ever get them.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you're kind of at their mercy on that, so.
Yeah.
But wasn't it paying for the mowers and everything too?
Oh, that's, yes.
Everything that we've already.
That's to get us to
Gone.
where the golf course is today in the level and the cleanliness and the whole 9 yards, right? That was the 50, say 58.
Yeah, I don't know that it's got that tractor involved, does it? No.
No, that tractor was like 40 something, wasn't it?
I think it was. And then there was a mower, and there was actual, zero turn mower that was bought. And then I think this here is just the actual, what it's done. It's not, I don't think it's got those other expenses taken out of it.
I'm just so proud of the money. All right, they said we need 50 members to be solid.
Yes, so that it wasn't losing money. It was
They've got 37.
okay.
So we've only got to have 32 more members. And-
Paying the yearly dues, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
They pay monthly, and they're doing absolutely unbelievable job. And I will also say, the reason we count this is because Fred and Jimmy that are working out there all the time, and Doyle, who
Mhm.
donates his time. If we had to pay them
What they were worth.
There's no way
I understand.
But if they're doing this stuff, it's like if you had your yard for 4 years and did nothing with it.
Mm-hmm. Which is essentially what
That's
happened.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right, and that's
absolutely.
what happened at the golf course. So now by July, they expect it to be in really tip-top shape.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. And once they start having tournaments and things, I mean, that's where your money
Absolutely.
And it's the only thing we sponsor, and the only thing that I know that we invest in that returns money like that. Plus, these people are going to the grocery store. I mean, I say this every time it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I just think that is such an asset to our city. That, the library, and the things that we have at the park are, it makes those things different.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, I'm very proud of what
I think I've already said this before, but, Charles Thompson, he lives over in Purtle. And so he was down at, I'd seen him at the golf course that morning. And then we was down at, Los Rigos Mexican food, and him and his wife were. And I said, I just seen you at the golf course this morning playing golf. He said, yeah. He said, I went back, took the car home and put it up, and me and my wife come back to eat lunch, and we're going to Brooksville to go shopping afterwards. And I said, well, where was you going after the golf course closed the first time? He said, we went to Longview, and then we go back to Kilgore and shop and eat lunch. And that's just a daily occurrence for them.
Yeah.
They're retired, and that's what they enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
So you're bringing that kind of,
There's revenue there, recurring revenue
Yes.
there that's being tapped into. That's an amazing thing to see. Anything else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, you may leave.